Hey guys, this is Camo Kid 1SS, and I'm going to do a part 3 over H-1 versus Cold Steel's Aus8a. And as you know, I was at the beach the other day, and we spent 3 days at the beach. 2 of those days I was actually in the water using my knife and everything, and I decided to pull out my Spyderco salts. I had my Tasman and a Spyderco Pacific salt, and I went ahead and wanted to test my Cold Steel AK-47 and just see how it hold up to the elements. And I've tested these Spyderco salt knives before, and they hold excellent in salt water, just like the company claims that they would, and no surprises. But the Cold Steel, it did fairly well too. As you can see, the AK-47 has a black coating, and that might be part of the reason why it did so well. And also, while I was down there, I went ahead and I grabbed motor oil, hand lotion, anything I could do to lube up the blade. I mean, I don't really consider that cheating because I had that with me. I mean, I didn't bring knife oil with me, which I probably should have. But the AK-47 did hold up well. Not only did I test it in the salt water and the air and everything, but I also cut things that have been out in the salt for a long time, such as rope. I used it as a bait knife. And so not only did it have to deal with the salt water, but it also had to deal with blood. And blood, if you've ever went hunting or anything and you skin a knife, skin a deer or whatever, skin a knife. But if you skin a deer or anything, if you get blood on your blade, it's going to start rusting. So in another part about cutting up the bait, the fish that I was cutting up was a sheephead, and it was a huge sheephead. It was probably average size, but it was a big fish, and it was a really tough fish. And when me and my dad were using the AK-47 to cut it up, I mean, it was a razor sharp knife, but we were cutting through the bone and its gritty, gristly muscle, and we weren't getting really far. I mean, in order to cut off a little strip, it probably took us 8 to 10 seconds with a lot of effort. And that's where this triad lock really came into play. It just absorbed all that force. And if I wouldn't use my Tasman for that test because the blade's the wrong shape. But if I had my Pacific salt cutting up that bait, I'm sure it could do it. But the problem would be is you'd have all that force deforming the lock faces of the rocker lock, which, you know, it wouldn't be good. That's how you develop play in your rocker locks. I mean, I love rocker locks, but if you exert a lot of force on them, they seem to develop play. I mean, I've just noticed that with my Endoras and my old school Voyagers. I mean, they all do that, and that's just what you'll get when you use a normal rocker lock. Then I noticed the difference in the pocket clips with both knives, and you know, I had the Pacific salt too. And when I went kayaking to put out a couple fishing lines when we were fishing for reds and sharks, the pocket clip made a huge difference. A lot of times when I go out on the kayak, I'll wear a life vest. And the life vest, the life jacket has straps on it. So I'll go ahead and stick a knife on the strap so, you know, I don't have to mess with my pockets when I'm sitting down in the kayak. And I noticed with the AK-47, I was going to stick the AK-47 on my kayak, and it did go on, but the problem is that the pocket clip is so small, it just didn't have much to grab on, and it kind of wiggled up and down. I wish I had my life jacket with me and I'd show you. But with these Spyderco pocket clips, this is probably my favorite pocket clip design in the world. I mean, some people might think it's ugly, but I like the fact that you can get a dime or a flathead screwdriver and adjust the pocket clip or take it off. But it's slender. There's tension, but it's not like a real strong tension. I mean, it's that length of pocket clip that you get makes it a champ when you're wanting to strap into small straps or in the lining of your bathing suit or something. While the Cold Steel pocket clips, they're short and stubby, and they work good, but what they're really made for is, you know, like a thick denim. So, you know, just using it out as a bait knife and kayaking and everything, I kind of like the Salt series. But overall, oh, I wanted to talk about the coating really quick. This knife did fine out in the salt water for 2 days. I think if you would start to notice the difference in steels if you were out at the beach and you lived out at the coast, you know, that's when you'd start really seeing the difference where the internal linings and stuff would start rusting. But this black coating held up really good, and sometime I'm going to have to go out and test out a Voyager. This Voyager's stone washed and I really like that, but I'll have to see how it does in the salt water, because at one time Cold Steel had a knife, and I believe it was made out of VG1, and they claimed it to be their diving saltwater rescue knife. So I'll just have to see how the Voyagers do. I know you'll be alright with freshwater as long as you just oil up your blade, but you know, that'll be a curious video. But overall, the AK-47 did fine, and the salt knives performed as well as they always do. And if you definitely live around the coast or you're around water, get a salt knife. These things are amazing. Even in fully serrations, the H-1 just really performs well. And I was really surprised at the results with AK-47. So I hope you got something out of these series of videos, and if you have any questions or comments or something I need to add, just feel free to ask. Thanks for watching, guys.